Today, we are deconstructing how the film Sicario uses the language of cinema to plunge us headfirst into a world where the line between right and wrong isn't just blurry, it's practically gone.
This single line from the mysterious operative Alejandro, it basically sets the stage for the entire movie. It's a brutal look at power, morality, and what happens when one person gets caught in a system that's just overwhelmingly powerful.
Okay, so let's get into it. The film is so masterful because of a really smart choice. It reframes the whole story through the eyes of a complete outsider. We are locked right into Kate's perspective. She's this idealistic agent who, honestly, knows as little as we do. Every piece of information, every secret mission, it's all filtered through her confusion, which makes us a pawn right alongside her in a game where nobody's explaining the rules. And that right there is the key decision. Instead of giving us a straightforward revenge thriller centered on the assassin, the movie becomes this chilling study of moral compromise. It asks, what happens when you take a person with a really rigid ethical code and just drop them into a system that has none?
So, how do you translate that feeling of powerlessness into something you can see? Well, the answer starts with the incredible cinematography of Roger Deakins, who basically weaponizes light and shadow.
Just take a look at how Kate's superiors are filmed. They're often just silhouettes in a dark room. They're these sources of power and information, but they remain visually hidden from us. We can't read their faces, we can't see their real intentions, and that brilliantly creates this visual hierarchy of who's in control and who's not. And this visual strategy isn't just for them, it extends to Kate too. Deakins constantly puts her in shadow. He keeps her underlit, especially when she's getting these cryptic briefings. It's a technique that does more than just show she's in the dark. It forces us to feel her uncertainty, visually aligning our own perspective with her growing sense of dread. The filmmakers actually have a name for this style: dynamic realism. First, they ground us in a world that feels completely authentic, totally real. Then, they start to subtly destabilize everything with unnerving sound design, that deep, throbbing bass, and these jarring shifts in light, turning what felt real into a full-blown psychological assault. Now, let's see how this visual design keeps building, because that grammar of light and shadow is matched by an equally deliberate use of color. It's like they've created a symbolic map for the film's moral decay. They pretty much created a color script to chart the story's themes. Blue stands for the clear, principled justice Kate believes in. Black represents the absolute corruption of the cartels. And then you have beige, the color of the desert, of bureaucracy, of the morally compromised world she is forced to get through.
And what's so brilliant is how this color story is told right through Kate's wardrobe. As you can see, she starts the film in this crisp, authoritative blue, a symbol of her belief in the system. But by the end, that color has been completely bled out of her, replaced by these washed-out beiges and grays, visually mirroring the total erosion of her idealism. But the film's mastery of visual language isn't just about what we see. It's also about what we don't hear, which brings us to its most mysterious character, Alejandro.
Now this number is just staggering. According to the filmmakers, actor Benicio del Toro and director Denis Villeneuve made a really bold choice. They cut nearly 90% of Alejandro's dialogue from the original script. So what's the effect of this? Well, the crucial point is that by stripping away his words, they transformed him from just a character into a force of nature. His power doesn't come from what he says, but from what his silent, watchful presence implies. It forces us to project our own fears onto him, which makes his actions all the more terrifying. Ultimately, the brilliance of Sicario really lies in its total commitment to one central idea. What is left unseen and unsaid is often the most terrifying thing of all. So in the end, through its calculated use of light, shadow, color, and silence, Sicario does something truly remarkable. It doesn't just show us a story about a morally ambiguous war on drugs, it immerses us in Kate's psychological and ethical horror, forcing us to feel her disorientation from the inside out.
And so the film leaves us with this haunting final question. When the lines are erased and the wolves are running the land, what really separates the light from the dark? It suggests the most terrifying answer of all, that sometimes the only difference is who is holding the weapon.